Greetings, Goddess Body Mind Spirit community. This is your Goddess Guru, Tyra Omilade, Iyalarisha, Priestess of the Sacred Feminine Mysteries, here to share a word of inspiration with you on your path to self-realization and self-mastery. Today I wanted to make a quick video on something that crossed my mind. I was thinking about, how the day gets started. I talked about in a video, this video is called Ochozi's Wisdom for the Eclipse or something like that. And what I talked about in this video was the importance of tracking, like keeping up with what you do day in and day out, and how small little steps take you in a particular direction and you end up with this big effect. It could be positive or negative, just depends on what you're doing and your perspective on it. But it's about what we do day in and day out. And something that I talk about regularly when people ask for readings, or kind of explaining to me what's going on in their lives, the first thing I ask is, what are your spiritual practices? What do you do? Everyone knows I talk about this. I've had my website for almost a full 11 years, and I've always written about, you must have a daily spiritual practice. And if you don't have daily spiritual practices, before you whine, before you complain, before you take a drastic step, do small daily spiritual practices every day. So what I wanted to talk about are the must-do spiritual practices. I have some must-do spiritual practices, and I also have what I call my my express rituals. Because some days you just wake up out the bed late and you have to just hit the floor running, literally. Sometimes we're in a funk. I mean, seriously, let's just be real. Sometimes we get in funks and it's like, I do this every day. Can I just take a little break? No, you cannot take a break. You have to have some express rituals. But this is about the must-do rituals. These are the rituals where if you don't do these rituals, really things are gonna start, just really falling off. And so I have 3 must-do rituals. I always tell people, your rituals are for you to decide what they are. Now, do I watch other people, listen to what they do, and perhaps figure out, yeah, that's a ritual that I want to incorporate into my life. I love being inspired by other people. But at the end of the day, you have to decide what are your must-do rituals. But I'll share mine. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to bless my head. Many, many years ago, before I ever even really knew what Ifa was, I read a book by now very popular Iyanla Vanzant. Tapping the Power Within is the name of this book. That particular version of the book, I don't even think you can find in print anymore. She made another version of the book, but the original version of the book, Tapping the Power Within, is where I learned about head blessing. So I started blessing my head. And basically what that means is, in Ifa, there is the Ori. Another way of understanding this is the Ori is our higher self. It is the part of ourselves that is not differentiated in this body. Okay, so I just have to put myself on pause. I always talk about self-realization and self-mastery. And we come here to know the truth of who and what we are. If you think that you are this flesh and that name that's attached to you, then you've got to do some more research, because, baby, it's so much more to you than that. That is the physical part of you. There is another level. There are multiple levels of us, really. We're multidimensional beings. But there's another level of yourself that is undifferentiated. It stays in the non-physical realm, and it leads, guides, and directs what's going on. And so that part of ourselves we want to stay in contact with, because it helps us to understand where we need to go, what we need to do. That is the ultimate relationship you can have, the relationship with your higher self, which I call Ori. It's the seat of consciousness. And so I bless my Ori, because every day, especially in this modern day culture, we have all kinds of stuff coming into our consciousness. We have TV and the internet, and we go to work and people are having conversations, and you see headlines, and how much stuff are we just choosing to put in our brains and our psyches? How much crap do we dump into our consciousness? How much do we just let people talk to us and it gets just dumped in us? And so then all of that becomes like a cover and it creates this effect where maybe I'm not hearing my higher self, maybe I'm not hearing my Ori. And so that's why I bless my head. Now, some of us have, everyone should connect with their Ori. I think that for me, and I'm just giving you insight as to how I chose this. Now, this was me just going with my intuition, which I trust a lot. And I hope you trust your intuition a lot, because most people don't. But we have to learn to trust our intuition. We know more and better for ourselves than someone else does. Sometimes folks are going to tell us who we are. If they call you that 3 times, baby, you just might be that thing. All right? But I trusted my intuition. But as I have come to learn more through divination, I truly have a connection where honoring the Ori is something that is a must do. I can't get away from it. My Ori, my conversations, my spiritual conversations always involve my Ori, okay? So in Ifa, the Ori is the chief deity. You know, everyone's out here talking about, oh, I'm Oshun, I'm Shango. You know, we're going on and on about the Orisha. And even leaving some of them out. Like I said, y'all better work with Ochozi, baby. Ochozi is the bomb.com. But anyway, we're talking about all these Orisha that we're working with, but the Ori is the number one Orisha that we need to work with. And for those of us here in the United States, especially us who are of African descent, we really need to be working with the Egun. They are really in the West. The Egun are the Orisha. That's our primary Orisha over here, okay? But I really and truly have come to understand that this connection, this thing that I need to do with the Ori, it's in my destiny. It's in my Odus, and it's just a big part of what I do. And so I naturally was moved to pick up that particular ritual. I've been doing that ritual since the 90s. All right, mid 90s, because that's when I found that book. And it's one I can't move away from. If I don't bless my head, oh my goodness. But I think everybody should bless their head. I think everybody needs to wake up in the morning and find a way to connect with their higher selves, where you are specifically calling the name. In the Hindu tradition, this energy is called Ganesha. Okay? Let me see here. So that's ritual number 1. That's always the first one I'm going to do. And if I have to do an express ritual, the first one I call is greetings to my Ori. All right? So the next one is going to be, I pour libations to my ancestors. What did I tell y'all? The ancestors, especially for those of us who are Afro in the West, the ancestors are our Orisha. So what I want to encourage, what I do is I pour libations. Again, I am very much connected to the indigenous spiritual systems of Africa, in particular Ifa. And so in Ifa, you pour libations to connect with your ancestors. It's a way to greet the ancestors, because the ancestors, again, this is who we need to be calling on. Our ancestors sitting around like, when is she going to call on me? When is he going to ask for my help? So we want to call on the ancestors. We want to make a connection with the ancestors. We want to honor the ancestors. When we honor the ancestors, it helps to elevate them energetically. And so, but the libation creates this connection before I knew really anything. And I found this in Iyanla's book too, Tapping the Power Within. Whoever recommended that book to me, thank you. I don't remember which one of you beautiful goddesses recommended that book to me, but I am so, so grateful to whoever turned me on to that book. Or maybe it was a guide. I don't know. Anywho, you honor and you revere the ancestors. It creates a connection, and it opens the path for them to be a lamp unto your feet. The ancestors can see what's coming down the path. All right? So we want to connect with the ancestors. They will show us what to do. If we need help with something, they will help us. And so I said, well, let me tell you really, and I talked about this, I think, before. One of the ways that I really got into honoring the ancestors is that my mother passed in 1997. That was so hard on me. I was so depressed. And the only thing that felt right was pouring those libations and lighting that candle on my ancestral altar. And that's how I really was able to make it, because I just could not believe that I did not have a connection to my mother. You know, we give thanks for the guides that show up. I moved to the Nashville, Tennessee area and started going to an African dance class, and there was a priestess there, Iya Olaomi, and she has a YouTube video, but I don't know what the name of it is. Got to be Oshun. If you look up Ola, well, anyway, I'll put her link in the in my description box. But Olaomi, I was talking to her, and I don't even remember what I said to her, but whatever I said, she said, you're not away from your mother. Your mother is not somewhere gone away. Your mother surrounds you. You're with your mother. Your mother is with you. You talk to your mama. And I was like, see, that's what I needed to hear right there. And I never looked back. I poured those libations. I set up my ancestral altar. And so, connecting with the ancestors on a day-to-day basis. It's been so many times I'm in a rut, I'm in a bind, I'm in a jam. And see, I don't talk to my ancestors when I'm in trouble, baby. Like I said, must do. Talk to my ancestors every day. Right after Ori, you're going to hear me saying ancestors. My ancestors are my all in all. What can I say? But this is me, okay? I'm just giving you my example and insight as to how this happened. So that's must do ritual number 2. If I'm in express mode, hey Ori, hey ancestors, they second. Then the next thing I do is I have a special ritual that I do from when I initiated into the sacred feminine mysteries. We are given so many rituals that we can choose from to help us continue to cultivate our relationship with the energy called the Great Mother, the Goddess. And so I have a ritual. It's called the I Am ritual for all my sacred feminine mysteries sisters who've been that far. And some people have experienced it with me because I do it occasionally when I'm doing things live with people. But it's a way to connect, because the Great Mother is everywhere. She is in all things. She is the birther of all. And so it's a way to connect to all the spirits, all the energies, all the guides, and to the divine feminine collective, the Great Mother Goddess in all her various expressions. And so I do this as a way for me to connect with the goddess energy. And so those are my 3 must-do rituals. I don't think it has to be a magic number, but baby, you have to have at least one. One is required, where every day, before you really get up and get going, you know you're going to do this ritual. And I'll give y'all a bonus. So, and I may have shared this before. If I did, I'm sorry, but I'm just going to give it, because I really want people to do this because it gets you started out right. So, when I wake up in the morning and I'm lying in bed, if the first thing I try to do, once I'm clear and focused, before I let my mind start running away, or if my mind starts running away, I call it back to this place. I say, and I developed this because this is what I needed to hear, but you develop your own life affirmation, okay? I live in a beneficent and benevolent universe, always conspiring in my favor. Now, I did get that from somebody. If you've heard of Notes of the Universe, that's who I got that from. I live in a beneficent and benevolent universe, always conspiring in my favor. So that is a reflection of the fear that I have lived with so much. I say that because it helps me to affirm I live in a universe that's working for me. There's no need to fear. Get up and go about your day. And it helps to get my mind, set. The other thing I say, number 2, and these are must-do, right, moment you wake up rituals. So I have my must-do rituals, the 3. That's when after I'm up, moving around, change my clothes, brush my teeth, wash my face, all that. Then I'm going to do those 3 must-do rituals. But before my feet hit the bed, I do the life affirmations. The first one is the one I just did for you. The second one is everything works out for me because I submit myself 100% to my Ori, to Yemonja, to the wisdom and power of my womb, to the Iyami, the ancient mothers, to the ancestors, and to the Odu. And everything that you're hearing is a reflection of my spirituality. So you would insert, if you decided to do something like that, what it is a reflection of your spirituality. And so I say that one because that's how I make it. Everything's working for me, but it's only working for me if I'm listening to my guidance. See, this part right here, it'll lead me down some paths where I'm like crying and upset and frustrated and not understanding why I can't get ahead. But when I wake up and do my life affirmation of every step I take, I want to take a step that is led or is inspired by my Ori, that my womb, the power of my womb is infused in that step, so then it's going to be a wise step. That I'm listening to the mothers of the universe, that I'm listening to, my ancestors, and the wisdom of the universe is the Odu. I have initiated, so why would I not submit myself to the Odu? Again, this is me. It's a reflection of what I do. What are you going to do? What are some life affirmations you can say for yourself that will get you centered and moving in the right direction? Set the tone for your day. Now after that, I might think, oh, I'm so grateful for, waking up. Or I might think, blessings on my family, keeping my husband and my children, my family in general safe, my friends in general safe, which is a lot of y'all out there. If you're watching this video, you're my friend, and I pray for you every day. So I'll talk about my express rituals in another video, but you have to have these must-dos. Everything I've given to you is must-do. The first set I gave are must-do after I'm up moving around. The other two are before my feet hit the floor. Sometimes I might even go back and get in that bed. If something happened and I just jumped out of bed, you know how you have children, sometimes you just have to jump out. And, oh, I did not say it. Go get back in the bed. We're going to start this thing over. We have to be intentional in our lives, family, okay? It doesn't just happen. In a way it does, in a way it doesn't. We have to be intentional in what we desire and what we want. And so if you're struggling, if you feel frustrated, if you feel like you don't know if you're going to get ahead, you have to incorporate must-do rituals. You've got to get a hold of, your spiritual practices, and you have to do them day in and day out. This is Tyra Omilade, your goddess guru, thanking you so much for watching this video. Some of the rituals are based on what we need to do in that moment, and I can assist you through divination with understanding perhaps what kind of rituals you need to incorporate. So if you're working with a particular energy that involves fire or water, or that is moving you in a direction of wisdom, I can help you figure out what ritual do I need to work on, or at least get you thinking in the right direction. And I will even be your biggest cheerleader. So let me know if I can do divination for you. I'll put a link in the description box below. I would love to divine for you. And I ask you all to share this video, and if you would, like it, subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to connecting with you all again very, very soon. Peace and blessings of the goddess be upon you.